Hard-fought win, great game that we knew was going to be really challenging. Got a lot of respect for them. They're very good defensively. 6 double-figure scores coming into the game. It's hard to key on one guy. They're a terrific rebounding team. We tried to emphasize that as much as we could. I thought we were really good on the glass in the first half, and we're competitive in the second half, although they got a few more than I would have liked. I knew coming out to start the second half, he would have them locked in on the backboard once he saw the differential on the stat sheet, and they were really active, hard to keep off the glass. Just a really good college basketball game, pretty clean. 8 turnovers for them, 9 for us, and it just came down to players making a play or two. The game could have went either way. I'm happy that our guys obviously made some of those plays towards the end, whether it was Finke's 3 or him diving on the loose ball. Malcolm making big plays, Tracy leading with his voice tonight, I thought was a big thing, and I thought that was good for our team, our inside game, and Black's rebounding. I thought Williams' 15 minutes were terrific, no turnovers in 15 minutes, block shot, active defensively, did some really good things, got contributions just from a lot of different guys. J. Cole's 3s were timely, huge 3s. I thought we got a lot of contributions, like I said, from a lot of different guys. Biggest thing I saw, though, was for 3 days we talked about what we were going to learn from this past week when we didn't play very well, and it was all mental. We felt like we needed to really be more resilient and be able to handle, another team's run. I told Sean Morris after the game, now that I know we won, I'm glad that they popped us in the mouth and it went from an 11-point lead to a deficit where they took the lead. And we had to respond to that. And I thought our response to that certainly was a lot better than the other night. And it has been better than it was the other night before that. And we got to get back to being who we are with that. And I thought that we did that and showed some resiliency and showed some toughness. Certainly have a long way to go still. We dinged some stuff up. We got to get cleaned up. But at least we went in the right direction in terms of the mental part, which is obviously, in my opinion, a lot more important than the physical part. Questions?
Brad. You had talked previously about when teams go small, you had trouble maybe defending them a little bit. Today you seem to do a good job. There were times they had 5 guys who could handle the ball out there, 5 guards basically, and you guys did a nice job defensively. What was the adjustment that you made there?
Yeah, I think we were locked in and we were better with that for sure. I think it's a good observation. Obviously we mixed defenses, to try to keep them off balance. And, we were able to do that a little bit. Lyle got going there for a while, making 3s, getting in the paint. He's a really tough cover for a point guard just because of his size and his body is so physically strong that he at times can overwhelm you. And it takes more than one guy to guard him, but all in all, I think we were better for sure at defending the small lineup. They went big and small. Today we chose to stay big. We played big and it worked out for us.
John, your bigs played really good tonight, especially Mav and Michael and then LeBron. Something that you had some sense of this year, but they really gave you some good minutes down the stretch.
They were great. Like I said, the entire bench, I really thought those guys came off and did a great job for us. I mean, you look even at, the big thing is Jordan, Tate, and Williams, who came off the bench on the perimeter for us, had 0 turnovers in 32 minutes. That's a big deal. Taking care of the basketball has been something we've been working hard to address, and they did a great job with that. And then you mentioned the 2 bigs, and obviously those guys were effective. I even thought Mav missed some he normally makes, in and around the basket. As crazy as it sounds, 4 for 10 is not what he's been hitting here lately. And obviously he made some big ones, but I think he had a couple there, especially jump shots in the first half, and he normally would make at least 1 or 2 of those. He had another one in the second half there along the left baseline in front of our bench. But all in all, I thought they were physical and offered us a disposition in the paint that was good for our team.
John, I don't know how big of a deal it was, but you had to dance around Malcolm's foul situation all night. And when he was on the bench in the first half, I think your team actually increased its lead with him there. Was that important to
I think so. I just thought those guys came off ready, man. They were good, we've talked a lot in these. Sometimes someone will say a kid played well because he made 3 baskets, or was 3 for 3 from the field. You know, this is a classic case of where, you know, those three perimeters, what they make combined, one basket. But they had 0 turnovers in 32 minutes. They had deflections. I thought they guarded well. I thought they paid attention to scouting well. I thought Williams' block in the first half was a big play when that guy was going to make a layup. Like, those guys played, and that was a big deal. So that gave us obviously the luxury there to be able to sit Malcolm with the 2 fouls, because I wasn't sure, Tuck, whether I was going to sit him. Because we were able to extend the lead and play well, we were allowed to do that. And then he gets the one early to start the second half, and now you got another decision to make. And you know, obviously, you know, I decided to roll with him, and when we were able to figure it out, he was able to stay out there, which was a big key.
John, Dad talked about how your experience, 6 seniors, all that, but looking at the sophomores, you know, this is their second go-around through the Big Ten. Just, this might be too general, but just overall, what kind of maturity have you seen from them? What do you still need from them?
Well, they can get better, but so can the seniors. You know, so can all of us. That's what we're trying to do, is get a little bit better every day. You know, we'll do that. We'll try to clean some things up like we always do with this film. But, you know, those guys are a little bit unique, Jeremy, because what's happened last year with the injuries we went through, those guys got some opportunity probably that, you know, they might not have had to that extent otherwise. And so they got thrown in the fire. You can make the case at times they probably weren't ready. So they got knocked on their can, and then they had to figure it out and get up and, you know, and get better. And I think they've done that. And, you know, like I said, regardless, seniors, you know, LaRon, Finke, the sophomores, we needed everybody today, and I thought we got contributions from everybody that played.
I wonder if you could elaborate a little on Ron's play tonight, not just, and then, you know, the way he played tonight, but also just his capability to have a game like that and what it means, you know, his success this season.
Yeah, Shane, it's huge, you know, and obviously he has such a gift to rebound and rebound out of this area. You know, 15 rebounds, we needed all of them against that team. I mean, they're really good on the glass. They're, you know, the team that we've played probably that resembles them the most in terms of when you look at their 2 and 3 at times, are 6'8" guys that are long, was Florida State when we played them in New York City. You know, defensively very similar, and shot blocking, you know, the whole nine. And you know, we need obviously Ron. You know, I said something that's one of the staff guys at halftime. I said, man, Pinky's playing really well, and someone that came here and said he didn't have a rebound. He ended up getting 3 in the second half, and I heard someone say, yeah, because LaRon's getting all of them. You know, like, so that was the impact he made. He was going up, snatching them, and that was huge for us because obviously they're a very, very good rebounding team.
Did you have a follow-up, Shannon?
Yeah, I mean, not about Ron, but just, I noticed that in the post-game handshake line, you actually made Dad laugh. Was something you said?
Nah, just between him and I. You know, obviously I've said this numerous times, and I'll keep saying it. You know, he's done a lot for me and my family, and I'm forever grateful for my time there, my time with him. I certainly don't take it for granted. It was a real privilege.
Did you put maybe any special emphasis on being more aggressive with taking the ball to the basket? Because in the first half, Tracy and Malcolm definitely did that.
They did, Scott. Yeah, we want them to get in the paint. You know, every coach wants that to happen, but I thought they did a good job of that. And then, most importantly, the biggest difference from the other night is once they got in there, they made good decisions. You know, whether to attack the rim, whether to jump stop and pass it, whether to spray it out. Indicative of the fact we played with 9 turnovers. You know, that's a big thing. Making decisions. It's one thing to get in there, but once you get in there, then you got to make a decision. Do I shoot? Do I finish? Do I drop it off to the big? Do I pass it to the other side to an open 3-point shooter? And I thought their decision making was huge. You know, I thought it was much better than the other night.
Here in the middle, then back to Jim.
Trevor Thompson coming in for Ohio State was basically averaging a double-double, and I know he's had some off nights and some good nights this season, but you guys did a pretty good job of limiting his chances. What were you able to do so effectively with him?
Well, I don't know how much it was, you know, what we did. I'll look at the film. He's talented. He can block shots, rebound. You know, obviously 5 double-doubles in their last 7 games. And his length defensively, you know, I don't know if it was necessarily anything special. We tried to defend him like we normally do, guys that have those attributes. And, you know, fortunately today it worked out for us.
John, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Thad said that he felt the difference was the way you were able to attack them in transition, especially in the first half. Why do you think you were able to be so successful getting those baskets, like 11 of the 17 were at the rim?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not meaning to be simplistic, but that's what happens when you run hard every time like you're supposed to. I thought guys got out and ran hard, and took opportunities that were there and tried to play the right way. And we didn't have necessarily, one guy trying to be. I thought we had guys trying to be run stoppers the other night. Like they played the right way. They played together. I thought in transition we did get out and we ran pretty hard. And that's half the battle. You got to run hard. You got to be committed to it.
Johnny, players talked about they got a lift in the crowd after the Maryland game. They weren't sure what kind of crowd they had, and a big crowd, and the crowd helped it, didn't it?
It did for sure. We've got great crowd, great support. We're very appreciative of that, and it was great to see even people filling in down low with our students gone, obviously because of the break, and no question that they made an impact. They are impactful. I would agree with the players on that.
Coach, you talked a lot about your sophomores. How about your freshmen? A lot of us were expecting a lot out of Lucas. What's going to take it for him to get some playing time, and what's he need to do to get in there?
Yeah, Tijon's playing well. He's getting better. I talked to him even today. He's taking care of the ball better in practice. He's been more consistent. He's learned the defense. It's just a matter of, same thing with Kipper. Like Kipper's getting better too. Those guys are good players. Obviously we have an older team, John. We're in a little bit of a rhythm. We've got 16 Big Ten games left at this point. We've already played 15. That's some of it, but they've got to be ready because at this point, when we bring those guys off the bench, today we brought Jordan off first. He had practiced really well. Thought he was a guy that based on this game, based on the opponent, that we went with him first. Those guys all got to be ready to do that. I've talked about it before about the strength in numbers concept. It's hard. Mentally you have to be ready if you're one of those guys from a minutes perspective that are playing 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th most minutes. It's game to game. And that takes a certain level of mental toughness. Tijon has that mental toughness. And I really believe in him. He's a good player. Kipper's a good player. It's more at this point a numbers a numbers game, but by no means have I made a decision that, hey, this is solidified, or practice matters here. How we play in games, do we do what we're supposed to do, matters here. So he's got to be ready to go.
This is a sort of similar question that we asked Thursday, but with Nebraska winning again on the road in Maryland and Minnesota winning at Purdue, is the conference maybe as tight as it's been in a couple of years?
Well, obviously I haven't had a chance to watch those games. I've seen the scores or heard about some of the scores, but I would say very well could be. It certainly looks that way here early, that there's going to be a lot of parity. I think, I do think it's one of those deals where if you look at, the previous game, or you look too far ahead, which makes it harder on you guys because you guys are supposed to predict and prognosticate. Good luck with that one. You think how it looked 3 or 4 days ago. Well, that must mean blank in 4. Yeah, it could go total 180 on you. You better play the game that's in front of you. You better be ready to play. You better honor the process every day, because I think it's a league where, and obviously the early games are showing that, where anyone can win and anyone can get beat if you don't play well. Certainly makes it challenging, but at the same time fun.
Anything else from Coach?
Yeah.
One more for John.
Coach, with Lucas, there's nothing else that's kept him off the court besides just not
Oh,
playing as well
no, he's not at all. Yeah, not at all. No, he's an unbelievable kid. Certainly a big part of what we do, not only now but moving forward. I love Tijon.
And he's 100%.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, health-wise. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.